In a blink of an eye, your entire world probably was turned upside down. And many of you have thought about wanting to get back at your spouse by having your own revenge affair. And truthfully, the outcome of revenge affairs is almost always, if not always, the opposite of that which you intended. A revenge affair will complicate things so severely that it will prolong the recovery process probably by years. What I've seen in my office is people have explained this to me, my clients have explained this to me, that the goal of most revenge affairs is to even the score, to do something that hurts your partner just as their actions have hurt you. And most people report that they want to make their spouse understand how they feel and to teach them a lesson. You will not even the score. Your partner's affair broke safety and it broke trust and it fractured that bond between the two of you. And therefore your affair won't have the same impact. And most likely you will make them feel justified in having their own affair. And I can name several examples where a revenge affair was used as an excuse to continue that original affair that your spouse was having. Instead of feeling guilty for you, your revenge affair will provide your partner a good excuse to dismiss your feelings entirely because now they've got a whole set of their own feelings of being betrayed and minimize the consequences of their actions. It will not help them get it in the way that you want them to. It'll distract you from dealing with the real issues in the relationship that led to the affair in the first place, which most likely one or both of you are conflict avoidant, there's a power imbalance, and somebody in the relationship is probably passive aggressive, or at least has those tendencies. And then add more deception and betrayal to the relationship is hardly the best way to lay the groundwork for rebuilding safety and trust and security in this relationship. I'm not exaggerating about that. Because you're both now the unfaithful spouse and the betrayed spouse. It just further complicates it so much. By having a revenge affair, you're using your rage and anger to shield and protect yourself from dealing with other more painful and vulnerable emotions. And unless you deal with your pain and work through all the losses coupled with your grief, you won't be able to heal, and neither will your relationship. One of the best things you can do for yourself right now is to find a group of supportive individuals who are walking the same road and are working toward the same goal, which ultimately is healing. You can find that in Harboring Hope, our online course for betrayed spouses, or Hope for Healing, our online course for unfaithful spouses, or EMS Online, which is our course for couples. Our programs draw their greatest power from the strength of a small group support because those who are currently in the same circumstances truly understand and they get it in a way that nobody else out there does. By providing support as well as receiving it, couples and individuals get new insights and perspectives and wisdom, all led by an expert or someone that has been down this road before. Remember, we've talked about this so many times, that forgiveness is a gift that you give yourself. And it is a process. I'm not saying anybody out there has to get there right away, but you have to be open to it because it is a gift you give yourself. The last thing you want to do is walk around angry and bitter all the time, despising both your existences. Do you really want to spend your one and only precious life focused on making someone else pay for what they've done to you? Our most valuable commodity on this earth is time. And I can think of much better ways to use my time than to holding on to a grudge from something that's happened either a long time ago or even just a few months ago. Granted, you still get time to work through all of it. But especially in the season that we're in right now, I'm just asking you to be open to forgiveness instead of revenge. I'm just saying that two wrongs don't make a right. If your spouse is a jerk, then don't go down to their level and act in the same way that they did. It was awful for them to act that way, and it's going to be equally awful for you if you do the same thing. If reconciliation is your goal then, I can promise that treating your mate with undeserved grace and respect has a far more reaching impact than doling out pain in equal measure. If someone hurts you and you respond in love, at the very least, it causes the other party to examine their own failure, and it leaves you in the one-up power structure of the relationship.
Before you go, I want to remind you, you don't have to walk this road alone. Affair Recovery offers consultations with intake specialists who have personal experience with infidelity and recovery. Searching for hope and guidance? Follow the link in the description to schedule your free consultation today.